La la la. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Connor Bell. And got a really cool message for you today, as well as a prayer. Just a channeled prayer that I always leave at the end. It's really powerful. It really helps bring people into alignment. And that's my intention for you today, is to really feel inspired by this message and to also really take in the channeled message as well, the prayer of how we're going to take this message and guide it practically in our life, or let it guide us, if you will. So I'm starting to be surrounded by cats, which is a good sign. Yeah. Speaking of good signs, so I'm sure you clicked on this, or a reason why you clicked on this was you resonated with the title. Actually, recording this, I haven't named it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be called something like I booked the ticket and you should too, and here's why you should too, or something like that. And so the message that I'm going to give today, of course, I'm going to tell it through story. And it's booking tickets both literally and figuratively, however it applies to your specific story. So I'll just start. I like to start at the peak, and then we kind of come back to like, oh wait, how did this peak happen? This emotional peak, this big move, this big action that I took in the past 24 hours. And it is official. I am a week from today boarding a plane and flying halfway across the world to a place that I've always wanted to go my entire life on this planet. I've always tapped into the culture. I've always had friends. I've worked with people remotely in that part of the world. I've heard so many stories from that culture. I've connected with like just spiritual, whatever you can call it, spiritual entities, spiritual belief systems, spiritual practices, spiritual, just the essence of the eastern part of the world, like what people call like the eastern hemisphere, the eastern part of the world. I'm officially flying to specifically Bali, Indonesia. And I know there's a lot of hype around that. There's been a lot of hype around Bali specifically for the past decade. It seems like this spiritual pilgrimage spot, this kind of hub where a lot of people, especially my generation, are called to integrate something in themselves. And I've experienced the frequency of that land and that culture in other people who have been there and who have, again, they've gone on some kind of spiritual pilgrimage, integrated some beautiful pieces, unlocked some things within themselves, and then brought those gifts back to the Western world and helped other people integrate those things in Western society. So, yeah, the interesting part of the story is that I was in this exact position a year ago. And I just want to bring attention to the patterns that sometimes that we can continuously play in our lives. And there's a time, there comes a reckoning where we literally wreck the fuck out of the patterns. We're just like, no, this isn't happening anymore. And we bust through, we break through, you don't have to use that analogy. It could be more of like a peaceful integration. But for me, man, I had an opportunity a year ago. The interesting part of this story is that a year ago, I had hundreds of thousands of dollars in resources at my disposal. So yeah, I had the opportunity to go to Eastern Asia, to Southeast Asia specifically. I was literally signed up to go to this training, the exact training that I'm signed up to now. But last year, if I went, I would have had a lot more resources for a lot more adventure and luxury and choices to invest in. And in hindsight, I'm seeing why I didn't go back then and why this last year has totally humbled me and why it's prepared me, why I feel like I'm going to get way more, not just get way more, see my whole mentality shifted as like, what am I going to get out of Bali or what am I going to get out of that part of the world to what am I here to give? There's something there that's going to help me remember things. And I'm not giving my power to a specific time or place in the world, but there's just something there that I feel inspired by. I feel I get notes of it here. But I feel like there I'll be able to inhale the full essence of whatever it is, and I'm also just gonna have an absolute blast. So I'm also just honoring that I'm going because I'm gonna have fun, and I've always wanted to adventure there. And at the same time, I just know I'm so much more present, and there are less external influences. I have like basically little to no, like I've cut all my ties from the identity that I built here in the Western world. And so I feel like I'm able to go there with a full clean slate, a blank canvas for me to paint upon, both just identity wise, values wise. I feel like I'm really going to be able to really anchor in my values and my beliefs going into this next grand chapter of life, this next decade or however long this really starts to vitalize and starts to proliferate and starts to blossom. Whatever is the next thing that I'm here to bring to this world, I feel like there's just fertile soil there that I can replant and recalibrate. And I've been doing that in a big way the past few months. I think what was important, because I was trying to rush there a few months ago. And for whatever reason, it just didn't happen. Like I was forcing it. I was trying to make the money to get there. However, when I came back to presence, it was just very clear that I was avoiding certain things that wanted to be brought to loving coherence in terms of relationships with other people, energetic relationships with food, certain vices, social media, gurus, influencers, all the influences outside of my heart. And so, yeah, I feel like if I didn't cut those if I didn't take the time, like just sit in the boiler room of those things, I wouldn't have been able to fully identify them and then cut the energetic cords and make peace with them and bring coherence to the relationships as well. That felt a little dissonant. It was like I was kind of like avoidant. And now that I've faced them, I feel like I finally feel just fully grounded and the waves have ceased. And it's time now to go and just be abundantly present with whatever I'm meant to receive from that land, from its people, the relationships that I'm meant to develop, moving into this new chapter. My vision is, it's not cluttered, it's not muddied anymore. It's not fully clear. I think like the things that are next are fully clear, and I'm able to tune into the frequency, the macro frequency of the vision. but I think that's led me astray and distracted me many times. So what I'm here to do now is I just have this very clear picture that my heart is projecting of what to do next, and all the clutter and all the dissonance is fully cleared out, and I'm just able to follow that and live in love every single day. So that feels really good. Hallelujah. I am eternally grateful for the process, and I'm giving grace to myself and gratitude to myself for just paying attention and being here and trusting that, even though it's not what I immediately wanted in the moment. I wanted to go to Bali and to Thailand and that part of the world months ago, but early in the summer. And it was just, it was a clear no, it's not time. Got to do these first. And so it's not like the healing doesn't end. I'm really looking forward to it, but like my filter, my lens, and the way that I see the healing process now is so much more beautiful because I'm doing it in play, and I'm doing it through my passions now, and doing it with people and bringing people together, and that's so clear now, and I'm so grateful for that opportunity. Hey, Aria, sweet girl. Mwah. So yeah, one thing that was also important to mention is that, like I said, a year ago, the thing that happened, the event that kept me from going to Bali, was on my 30th birthday, July 30th, 2023, I broke my foot. So I had already been registered and paid for this dance event and this dance training in Bali in September, literally the same time, exactly a year ago, but broke my foot and just wasn't in the state to be able to dance. And so like I was like, all right, I mean, I could go to Bali still. I could still just go to Bali. Or I think I'd already booked my flight too. It was like that, or I could stay here, stay grounded, because I was still living in my penthouse suite at the time, and I could build my business. And so I chose to do that. I chose to be present with my body because I was also a little dissociated from my body, and breaking of my foot caused me to slow down a little bit, a lot of it actually. And like I said, I have other videos talking about what this past year has taught me. Overall, it's just taught me to slow down and, again, get really clear on those energetic ties, to cut all the cords and to start anew. And so exactly, it took a year, but it's been absolutely profound. This year has been a quantum leap in love with myself and feeling the interconnectedness of all living things, and just feeling safe and empowered in my body to live my purpose and to discover that and remember that more and more every single day, and play in that every single day, and honor my artistic child and allowing it to mature into the thing that's always meant to be. And yeah, so amen to that. And I hope that this is inspiring you to look at those things in your life. Where am I maybe moving too fast? Where can I slow down? Are there chords that have been desperately seeking to be witnessed and processed and forgiven and understood? So that's the invitation from that part of the story, and that part of the message that I'm here to share, is just, if you're at the point where you've done that, and even if you're not fully done it, I mean, it's a constant evolutionary process, but if it's just really clear for me, what happened the past few weeks was just this bubbling up of like, yeah, something big's about to happen, some big shift. And I was seeing a lot of evidence in my external reality around it, like these angel numbers and stuff like that, 444, 555, 1111. And they've kind of just been like little mile markers if you will, just little signs like, yep, you're on the path, you're going the right way. And it's all kind of led to this nexus point of I had several opportunities. There are several paths I could have taken. One was go to Bali, go to this dance training that you've always felt called to. And I also had the opportunity I'm going to be going to Thailand, to an island called Koh Phangan, where there are a lot of these, like kind of spiritual hippies, but also like really well renowned artists, entrepreneurs, world changers, innovators, and they're living kind of like a forever festival lifestyle there. It seems like they're also making change to the world. I don't know. This is just stories that I've heard. So anyway, I have a friend there, Watashi. He's also my producer for my music, and all that I know right now, when I always tune into my heart, it's like you're here right now to tell stories through voice and through your body, which kind of are the one and the same, but through vocalization, through words, through storytelling, through your voice, and with your body. And so that I know now that whenever I'm doing those things, I am very in my dharma, very aligned, very in stride with that. So this one timeline that I explored, I basically looked. There were several timelines I could have explored. And if you see this, if you're kind of at a nexus point of your life, and you're just like, oh, I could do this, I can also do that, and they all kind of resonate in some way, I'd like to share how I discern those things and how I ultimately came to the conclusion of like, yeah, this is it. So first, it's just getting them all on the table, right? Like writing them all out. Like this is timeline 1, timeline 2, timeline 3. And really feel into the frequency of it. Like you'll know which ones are the most potent. I would have max 3. If you have 4, it's not that big a deal, but just try to get the most potent timelines possible, the most potent possibilities possible on a piece of paper, on a document, on a mind map, or even just in your mindscape. And what I did was, again, I sat and I used visualization and I tuned into the frequency of those timelines. I was like, okay, cool. So let's just say hypothetically, we go down this timeline. We go to Bali, we go to this dance thing, we then go to Thailand and we write all this music and we complete our album. And of course, we have all these other things that we're going to do along the way. We'll probably host some events there, things like that. So what I know right now is those timelines are meeting the need of the storyteller and me dancing and me using my voice. What are the resistances to that timeline? It would be more of probably the widest gap, or what seems like the widest gap of a financial leap. So it's tuning into the timeline of like, how would you feel? Like if you were actually immersed in that timeline, are you meeting all of the needs of your heart, right? Of your most divine path? Because you'll know. And then if you feel resistances, you'll be able to then know like, okay, is this just a fearful resistance? That's because then if you don't bring these to your awareness and you don't like actually feel them and process them, they're just going to continue to dictate your choices and your reality, because you are the creator, and you're either going to create your fears or you're going to create your dreams. Someone, forget who dropped that quote, but it was very powerful. Like you're either creating your fears or you're creating your heart's desires, like what God has planted in your heart, your dreams. And a lot of people have arguments for that, like, oh, like my desires and my wants are different from like what God is. I really don't think that. I really think like what people label as like wants and desires are sometimes just like a lot of those are sometimes just they're just like they're just like fruits from a deeper fear almost like oh the reason why to go and I want to go to this event or go to this festival is there's just a deep like need and belonging of like a belonging and that and things like that and I want to fulfill that need. And for me it's like oh I just haven't been able to create that within myself, like find belonging, like create my own community where I can create my own belonging basically, create my own sense of belonging within myself and then create my own community where I can just foster that myself. I'm always seeking it in an external like someone else's settlement or someone else's community that they've established. And I'm going to take a pause really quick and give awareness to there's a dog that is wanting to get into the house right now. I want to continue this stream of thought in this video, but it seems very difficult because I feel their energy because I'm a steward of this space. There's also a cat right here that's like brushing their head on the laptop, and I don't want them to do that because it's gonna shake the thing. So say quiet. Oh, she's so cute. So I'm gonna put her down. I'm gonna go let this dog in, and then we will continue. All right. Wow. We are back. So coming back to how I discern those things, I tuned into all of them, and I was like, okay, cool. Which ones of these meet certain needs, and which ones don't? And which ones are just more rooted in fear versus like what I actually versus rooted in love, which is like what God actually wants to express through me, what God actually wants to teach through me. And the reality is like the different timelines, I'm choosing to experience them all. But it was really important that we just know where it's coming from. Like, where are these things that are birthed? Because again, we can go through an entire lifetime just being reactive through fears and like the fruits. Again, the soil. Now, with the analogy of plants and everything, the soil is so important. Like, what is the soil that this fruit is fruiting through? And what was the seed? Is it a seed of, I think it's always at the deepest level it's a seed of love, but sometimes like the resources that we put around it to nurture it can distort its original intention of love. So I believe at its core essence, like all of it has good intention, but am I continuing a pattern, or am I choosing love? And am I trusting love? And so when I tapped into that, it started to become clearer and clearer. Like one, I had three options, and then one was just clearly like more of the pattern of me wanting to build other people's things, and instead of me just doing my own events, trusting my intuition, cultivating my own community. Again, the nourishing the artistic gifts that I'm here to bring the world. And then others were just like, oh, these are places where I can. These are places with clear, fertile soil that I can actually do those in. That I can actually, and it seems like the soil there. It's like I'm the seed, but the soil there has something unique. Maybe it's just clearer. Maybe it's just less distorted than where I'm at now. Because I was sharing this with my friend the other day. I don't know why, but it just seems like the environment that I'm in now just doesn't seem to fully suit what I'm here to bring to the world next, or what I'm here to integrate next. And I don't know, there may be something about like the environment there, the vibrations, the elements, the people, the soil there, the nature that's here to just allow this purified seed that I've been working on for so long to prosper and to take the time that it needs to nurture. And because that's the chapter that I'm in. Again, I've been trying to pour fertilizer and like nutrient scarce soil, on the seed, and it just hasn't been the thing, man. So the unique thing about this decision that I made of going to Southeast Asia, without even going into what the other options were, it really is just because technically I'm going, and I don't have a lot of resources right now financially. I just have enough to meet my basic needs, and then invest in like little things here and there, maybe like little software that I need to record these videos. It's like I've scaled down my lifestyle and my needs and my resources so that I can focus on what I actually need to bring the vision to life. And what I'm really realizing now is it doesn't take a lot. You don't need a lot at all. I don't even need, technically this laptop. It definitely helps me reach a lot more people. So I'm grateful for like the tools that I do have. By no means, universe, does this mean like I'm here. I would like to keep my laptop and the things that I do have to continue sharing the word that I'm sharing now virtually. But I proved this to myself last week that I literally could just walk out in public and just walk up to people and be like, hey, I'd love to bless you right now in this way. And it could be something as simple as a prayer, or just I want to sing for you. There's so many simple ways that we can just share love as human beings, and we don't need all these barriers to do so. And so I think this environment that I'm heading to in a week from now is going to allow me to just come back to simplicity, come back to like a really feminine flow of nature, like a new flavor of feminine flow that I haven't ever experienced, and take my time and receive whatever the gifts of that land is there to give me, and whatever gifts I'm there to bring that environment and those people there. And yeah, and just continue to give in every way that I know that I can every single day, and connect with like-hearted people who are also doing the same thing, and just feel really, really at peace in all my cells. My nervous system is just like this. It's in the subsidiary state. I'm so grateful for. And yeah, you'll be seeing a lot more videos, probably a lot more content of me in that part of the world. And again, I want this to be an invitation for you to just use this strategy. Again, if you're feeling called to something, the thing is, like, you just know. Like, I knew that I knew that I also tuned into the other realities, and I just knew that I would regret not doing this thing first, not just because I've been wanting to do it for so long. And it's almost, and what I realized as well is God was just like, dude, you were praying for this deeply in the beginning of the summer, and we're literally giving it to you on a silver platter right now. Yes, we're making it we're not making this gaping hole of light. Like, we're making it big enough for you to walk through with ease. It may not be like big, and again, there's like a financial thing where it's just enough where I can go and I can feel safe and feel supported, where like the ego can feel safe and supported to go and make the investment and like make the leap, and then also land and feel like a sense of groundedness. But it's also like not this gaping hole, but it's like, hey man, we're giving you this passage. This is your rite of passage. It's time. It's time to, like, we can't just make it, last year it would have been too easy, and then it would have been too easy to sink into all of the lack of trust and all the vices and all the, like, if you went there with hundreds of thousands of dollars, dude, you would have just blown it all on all these things, which still would have been divine experiences. But dude, you're here to bring something specific to the world. you're not here to invest in all these other things and all these different adventures. Like, you're still here to do that, but you're here to bring people together and do that. Like, you're here to, it's just very clear. And so that's what I'm so honored for right now. It's just the opportunity to just go and be abundantly present with nature and not sink into all these distractions and all these things that usually cause me to drift. And so, anyway, the invitation was, I knew when I tuned into the other realities that I would have regretted not if I didn't go to Southeast Asia and to Bali, to Thailand, to just, and I can do all the other options. The cool thing is, like, when I sat down with a friend, an amazing soul, his name is Jackson Sullivan, something he told me really stuck, and I'd heard this before, but I needed to hear it again in this moment, was don't go where you're tolerated, go where you are celebrated. Say that again. I am going to where I am celebrated, not where I'm tolerated. So in the other scenarios, there was more of an energy of like, it was like me pursuing them. And it was less of like the divine, like calling me in and like pursuing me, basically. They're different energies. I think they all lead to the same thing if you're able to discern in a good way. But these were more of like me forcing and me trying to like kind of chisel my desires and my passions into like this reality and like piece it and like fit it in. Whereas these were just like, dude, we're morphing so that what's right for you fits here. It was just very clear, even though there was less like financial security or whatever. It was like, dude, like this is calling you. Like this is literally it's God being like, dude, this is what's next, or you're going to be taken care of, but you need to have faith. Versus doing these things that seem like an illusionary, more comfortable, more secure, which is the pattern, right? That I've like my entire life. I'm sure many people can relate to. So on this side, people literally were like, my producer was like, dude, come, I'm welcoming you into my home. We have 2 bedrooms. Like, you can stay there until you get you get yourself settled and then you figure your stuff out. The dance thing that I've always wanted to go to, it literally popped up out of nowhere. On their website, they had all these different locations of where they're going to do these trainings every single year. And then I reached out to the founder, who I connected with earlier this year in Guatemala, and he was like, dude, we have one in Bali. It's coming up. Like, it's not listed. We haven't listed it yet. It's coming up in Bali. Like, we have this thing for you. So it's just like all these synchronicities and serendipitous things were just popping up, like gaping like highlights. It was like highlighting. It was flashing. It was like, dude, Connor, this is it. This is literally us answering your prayers from several months ago. And yet I was still flirting with these other things. Right? So this Holy Spirit is always just making it very obvious, like, babe, come this way. This is the way. Trust. Stop flirting with all these other things, all these other women, all these other personalities, all these other opportunities. This is it. This is where all of your dreams are seated. All things that you ever wanted in your heart, they're here. I promise you. I love you. And that's what I did. That's what I followed. So I'm grateful for Jackson for bringing that, because he also just was like, in a way, channeling that truth, and was just like, dude, this is like, I'm gonna feel really sad if you go those other ways, because they're just like obviously not the thing. And I was like, yeah, man, you're right. And I finally just accepted it, and I chose, and I made the decision. I chose and decided to go there. And I lovingly, like, said namaste to the other options that were out there, and those are still potential. But I know like all that's going to become clear. All those other opportunities are going to become clear when I go to this immediate thing that's really, really amplified in my heart. And yeah, so with that, my prayer for you, my invitation for you is to trust that thing, man. Trust that thing. Trust where you're being celebrated and not just where you're being tolerated. Because again, it's also you just tolerating things that aren't actually you, that aren't truly you. Celebrate the things that, even if they don't make sense in the mind, even if they don't make, even doesn't make full sense, like financially, things like that. Book that ticket, man. Come to me. Come see me in Bali or Thailand. Book that ticket. But booking the ticket doesn't have to be booking a flight ticket or anything like that. It could be booking a ticket to leaving a job or a position that's not aligned anymore. It could be booking the ticket of starting your business or starting your YouTube channel, starting a creative project. Just could be as simple as like booking the ticket of going to a yoga class that you've always wanted to go to, booking the ticket of blessing someone, taking someone to dinner. It could be booking the ticket. It's just booking the ticket of love that is most true in your heart right now, big or small as it may seem. Because I've been booking small tickets of love every single day this past summer. This just seems to be like a bigger one that's, in a sense, it seems bigger energetically because I'm going to the other side of the planet. So just perceptually, it seems bigger, but book that ticket of love in your heart. Like, it's just going to create waves of goodness in yourself and in the world. And the most valuable thing you could possibly do in this world is to continue to honor and nurture that seed of love that's been planted in your heart your entire life. And it's always seeking to express itself. And my prayer for you is to continue to book those tickets every single day, water that seed every single day, whatever analogy you want to use. Do it. Let this be the affirmation. Let this be this is me celebrating you. This is me celebrating your heart. I'm celebrating Connor's heart and the decisions that he's been making. They're spot on, bro. Keep going. But this is also me celebrating you. If you're watching this right now, it means like whatever is that thing, you know what it is. It's right there. I am celebrating that within you. Let this be the confirmation to do the thing. And the more that we do that together, if we need to do that together, if you need to continue to tune into this channel, this YouTube channel, I'm going to continue to share these things. If you need to continue to join a community where you can do that, join our Honor Your Art community. You can, it's a Telegram group, and we meet once a week every Monday, where we do this. We just continue to fan each other's flame and honor each other's art and support each other with our art projects and what we're here to bring to the world. Honoring our art, honoring our heart. All right. So if this resonated with you, I ask that you please like and subscribe, and comment below as to what that thing is for you. What is that ticket that you've been wanting to book? That's a way that you can honor it, by just commenting below. Again, please like, subscribe, so this can reach other artists out in the world, other heart center artists who are here to bring more light and more love into the planet and into humanity. And this is a process. This is a very potent wave that's happening right now. It's just permeating the souls of the collective. And it is so beautiful, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. And my invitation is for you to join in as well. And yeah, I love you very much. So much. I'll see you very soon, whether it's on the next video or in the community, whenever it is, wherever it is. Mwah. Maybe it's halfway across the world and we meet in Bali, Indonesia, or Koh Phangan, Thailand. Those are the places I'm going to be in the next several months. Maybe we just meet and you're like, dude, I saw your video and you're the reason why I'm here. That would be really cool. I'd love to see you. I'd love to meet you in person. And continue to spread the light and love. All right. Give you another kiss. Peace.